What's up, guys? I'm Metalhead. I'm doing 150 class albums by the end of the year, and Bruce Springsteen's Darkness on the Edge of Town is on that list, same with Nebraska and a few other albums. But I've done Born to Run and I've done Born in the USA. I started with Born in the USA. It is one of my favorite albums of all time. And then now, after listening to it, and then I did Born to Run, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. I can understand why that is usually considered the best album by him. I do not know much about Darkness on the Edge of Town. I actually thought that this came out after Born in the USA or after Nebraska, but it's actually the one that came after Born to Run into Born in the USA, I'm pretty sure. So I'm curious to see the through line there, because I thought it was a later on album, and it's kind of cool to be able to see the differences between Born to Run to Born in the USA and this little landmark album, because those two projects are completely different. One is like a really pretty like Bruce Springsteen piano rock, and the other is this wall of sound anthem. I absolutely loved both albums. But yeah, I'm curious to jump into this. I also want to thank my patron who requested this. It was 2 scoops. And yeah, if you want to request albums, you can go to my Patreon. It's $5 a month, and you get to request an album that's under 50 minutes or less, or you get to request 2 classic albums of any choosing, any length, on my 360 album classic list, and you get early access by months and months ahead of time. This will be out probably in a week or two. Usually it takes months, but it's the 23rd of January, so that is the amount of early access at minimum you get, because I plan to release this pretty soon. But yeah, let's jump into it. I'm curious to see how it goes. Yeah. It's definitely a blind ranking, because I don't even know any songs on it. Ooh, I like it. Ooh, I like the guitar. Ooh. I love this. I have so many thoughts on this song, but I'll let it play for a bit. Oh, I love the drums there. It has like a... It's so deep sounding. Oh, I fucking love Bruce Springsteen. Oh, I'll pause it right here. I'm sorry if it the solo was going to be amazing, and then pause it before that. I'm sorry if I blew balls to you a bit, but I find this project already just incredibly interesting to me, because Born to Run sounded very 70s to me. It sounded like the Bruce Springsteen sound mixed with like the Elton John 70s. I also don't know much about music history. This is why I'm listening to classic albums, but so sorry if I'm a bit stupid, but yeah, that's kind of what it sounded like. And Born in the USA sounded like the 80s, just what the 80s sounded like to me, with Bruce Springsteen's iconic voice. And I absolutely loved that sound. I haven't been as warm to 80s as other decades, but Born in the USA is like a perfect example of the 80s that I absolutely adore. This song, despite being 3 years after Born to Run, sounds like the 80s. It sounds like that Born to Run to me, Born in the USA for me. And I slightly prefer that sound. I do think that Born and Run might be a better album, but like Born in the USA is a sound that just is like crack to me. And this track is very much in the same wall of sound sort of vibes to me, and if he fits the 80s a bit more, which I'm curious where that sound comes from, because this is from 78. So I don't know if he was the first, if there was other people around him that sounded like this. Obviously no one sounds like Bruce Springsteen, but like in the way that it sounds a bit 80s, because if not, this sounds early. This doesn't sound like because it's 78, it sounds like this should be an 1984 album or something like that. It sounds early to the 80s sound, like wall of sound that we know. And yeah, I absolutely love the track. It's sick. Yeah, I'm sorry for pausing before the solo. Harmonica. It's not as prevalent. Maybe this isn't a harmonica. Actually, it might not be. I can't tell the difference between certain instruments, but I like it. I love it. There's just a joyous charm to Bruce Springsteen's music that I really adore. What an incredible track to start out the album, because like it just reminds me why I absolutely love Bruce Springsteen. If you haven't watched some of my videos before, I do ratings on the side. These are my first listens, so these are subject to change, but I listen to these albums multiple times over before I post them to my Discord, where you can chat to me about my ratings, or I post it to my album of the year, where you can see a written review on the ratings themselves. I also post a trailer of like the next 5 YouTube album reactions, so you get a bit of a teaser on my album of the year in the favorite section, so you can see what's coming up next. But yeah, I also have an average rating of a 6 out of 10. I think that's solely because I listen to more good music than bad, because people request Bruce Springsteen instead of some bad music. So naturally, it's going to be a bit higher. I think spiritually, I want a 5 out of 10 to be the average. And in saying all of that, I think this is just a perfect track. So it's a 10. I love Bruce Springsteen. This is definitely like the sound of Bruce Springsteen that leans more into my direction, especially for like a more poppy sort of track, because Born to Run had some incredible storytelling tracks, but I really do love like the pop star Bruce Springsteen a bit with the Born in the USA and Badlands from this. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Ooh, quite a bit more guitar forward. Yeah, the last time was pretty piano forward. This has it, but like this is really strongly guitar forward. Oh, his voice. It's just so unique. voice. I love the amount of fucking emotions in it. Oh. Ooh, I love that guitar too. I don't know the conversations surrounding Bruce Springsteen or whatever, but I just only know my experience of it. I'm surprised that people don't talk about how versatile Bruce Springsteen is, because just from Born to Run to this to Born in the USA, this is different to Born in the USA as much as I'm making a lot of parallels to it, but it's also incredibly different to Born to Run. And I just feel like maybe when you have a artist that is as unique sounding and as like one of a kind as Bruce Springsteen's voice is, maybe it's less likely for you to be talked about as in like this really diverse, creative person, if that makes sense. Because like Elton John, I will admit, I just basically think of his piano rock. I haven't listened to his albums, so I don't know if he's very versatile. But what I think is like the piano ballads. When I think Bruce Springsteen, I'm basically just thinking of his voice. And I might think of Born in the USA or something like that, where like he has like a bit of a political slant and everyday man charm to him. But that's about it before I listen to it. And that's kind of sad because I feel like he is very creative. Like his albums are incredibly different from one another, and they feel very trendsetty to me because maybe I just don't have the eclectic knowledge of music to be able to know that Born in the USA was derivative of something, or that this was derivative of another thing. Because I will admit, I have listened to Highway 61, but I haven't listened to other Bob Dylan. Maybe this is more ripping off Bob Dylan than I think it is. But he seems so creative and so diverse in his sound, and just within a few years of one another, and he just has a completely different sound between albums. It's really fucking impressive, and I haven't heard of how creative he was or how different his albums were. He doesn't seem like a person that, like an artist that I've heard about that has errors or something like that, but I feel like there's different flavors of Bruce Springsteen that you get, and they're radically different flavors too. And I didn't hear that mentioned before I listened to him, which is just interesting. Oh, that is a sick solo. Ooh. I love his vocals. It is so daring. I've never heard a voice like this. I've never heard a voice kind of like this. I love it. Yeah. Just absolutely incredible. I'm going to give it a 9.5 for now, but I think that's solely due to the fact that I feel like Badlands is an easier track to instantly know that you love it and think it's perfect, because it sounds like stuff I've heard from Bruce Springsteen before, and it's up to that standard. Where this sounds like a very unique track to me. I haven't heard something like this from Bruce Springsteen, where it's like that the vocal take is fucking perfect. I absolutely adore that. There's just like certain passages where like it feels like it is a bit, I don't know, a bit thin towards here. I'm sorry to be pretentious, whatever, but like there's parts where it's like, oh, okay, there's not as much emotion because the instrumentals aren't like this massive wall of sound to be able to grab your attention as much. It's more low key, and the like transitions between them wanes my interest just a tiny bit. But in saying that, I think on re-listens maybe that just goes away, and I am just enamored with how fucking incredible his vocal take is on this, where it just sounds solely and wholly unique to me, that it just doesn't matter to me, and I might even like this track more. I just feel like this one is more of a maybe slow burner, where like I have to listen to the track a bit more. That's why I do multiple re-listens of albums before I post the reviews. Where like Badlands was like, oh yeah, I just know that sounds like an amazing Born in the USA track. But I can't emphasize enough how much I absolutely adore his vocals here. Like the way he's able to contort his vocals and like strain it, and that just incredible. Ooh, this is really pretty. Like, really pretty. Ooh. Oh, this is so cute. I like this. It's gonna be a love song, isn't it? I get smitten for love song sort of stuff. I'm a little romantic at heart, so I could absolutely adore this. I didn't know I needed a Bruce Springsteen love song until this. I'm so excited. Huh. I feel like this song is the one that I can picture Jeremy Allen White, who did the Bruce Springsteen biopic, the most in. Like, this instantly made me think of him. Huh. Like, it sounds like it might be in The Bear more, maybe. I adore this. Ooh, this more acapella is interesting.
But they caught us at the state line, burned our cars in one last fire. It left us running, burned and blind, chasing something in the night.
This is an absolutely incredible song, and either I'm an idiot for taking the sound to be a more like love song, with the with the title, or that it's just like the greatest plot twist in storytelling or music history. Yeah, I took this song like for the title and for like most of this track to basically mean like we're restless, our love is just a crazy passion, that sort of thing, and then you make me feel so alive, sort of thing. And I don't know if that is intended to be the first impression when you're listening to the song until the acapella comes in and the instruments go out, and then it dawns on you what the song is actually about. But I don't know if I had just a misnomer when I first went into it. But if that was purposeful, that is like an incredibly amazing and creative way to do the storytelling in this track, and it does kind of just like take the air out of the room when listening to it. Yeah, I slightly read up on this. I paused it and slightly read up, and apparently it's either about suicide or it's about reckless driving, and like someone dying, like maybe drunk driving or something like that. Yeah, this is a dark song and quite the turn. I was already going to give it a 10, but I'm not giving it a 10 just out of subject matter. I just think like it's really fucking well done, and I wonder where he goes from here, because I do feel fundamentally a bit like changed. Well, like going into this, it's like fun. It's like damn, it just got fucking heavy. I'm wondering how he handles the heaviness that has now entered the room. Yeah. Fuck, he's good.
In Candy's room, there are pictures of her heroes on the wall.
Oh, this is really pretty.
Candy's room, hit a walk, darkness.
Is this his prettiest album?
Strangers from the city call my baby's number and they bring her toys.
I love this.
Knocking, she smiles pretty. She knows I want to be Candy's boy. There's a sadness hidden in that pretty face, a sadness all her own, from which no man can keep Candy safe. We kissed, and my heart was just in my brain, and the blood rushes in my veins, the fire rushes through the sky, and we go driving deep into the night. I go driving deep into the light in Candy's eyes. She says, baby, if you wanna be wild, you got a lot to learn. Close your eyes, let them melt, let them fire, let them burn. 'Cause in the darkness we'll be hidden worlds that shine. And when our Candy floats, she makes those hidden worlds mine.
I really like this. instrument, like instrumentation. It sounds so pretty, the track. The lyrical content is so interesting to me. Huh. I don't know, it reminds me of what I said about Born in the USA, where like Born in the USA has this brotherly love, this like healthy version of masculinity involved in it that I just do not see in modern music. And I wonder why that is the case, because we often look at like past times as more aggressive, that they didn't have a healthier understanding of it because they were more steeped in like the patriarchal norms of the time, right? Like you are more steeped in like the conservative traditional values, and therefore you're less liberated sort of to like you're more in these strict boxes. And what I find interesting about this track is like I don't know if there would be too many songs that have this tone talking about like a stripper or a prostitute like this in like this, I don't know, this like really pretty glammed up sort of way. I don't know if you would see a male artist make a song like that today, because most of the time, weirdly enough, I feel like it would be more just, as much as we have gotten more progressive for the time, and I feel like maybe there's less stigma when it comes to sexual health, that sort of thing, but that could just not be true because this is just coming off of the back of like the sexual revolution. So maybe there is just more positivity in the air when it comes to that. But you would probably see a subject about like a stripper or a prostitute in, or a gold. I'm assuming it's a stripper or prostitute because I don't know if you would be this positive about a gold digger. But yeah, you would see it in a more objectifying lens. Like you would see the music be a lot more male gazy and a lot more objectifying. Where this might have a tinge of that, but maybe I don't think so. But like it seems more wholesome and like harmless, and just I don't know, making a cute song about this person. And I just don't know if that would happen. And it makes, I've not had this feeling when listening to other classic artists. When I'm maybe it's like I need to listen to Prince or David Bowie or something like that because I haven't actually done any of their albums yet. But with Bruce Springsteen, it feels like he's able to broach these topics in a way that I just don't see other artists do, even in like a somewhat like more progressive sense than even like artists today when they have more freedom to be able to do that. Or that's like the perception that I have, right? It's just really cool to see. I would give this like a 9 at the moment. It's I liked how more fleshed out, like something the night has just such an amazing like sound to it, mixed with like the meaning behind the track. Adam raised to Cain, absolutely incredible vocal performance, and Badlands is a perfect track. So like I like the other songs a bit more, but I don't want to skimp over the fact that like this is, I really find this cool, and I find like the ability that Bruce Springsteen has to be able to talk about like a lot of the topics that he does talk about in a very like tasteful manner, very unique, and not like not many artists are able to do this, even with a more free time that you would expect, as we've gotten less stigma around that sort of thing. It's just really cool. Mm.
I got a 69 Chevy with a 396, fuelie heads and a hearse on the floor. She's waiting tonight down in the parking lot outside the 7-Eleven store. Me and my partner, son, he built her straight out of scratch. We only run for the money, got no strings attached. We shut 'em up and then we shut 'em down.
I like this.
Tonight, the strip
There's just no one that has a Bruce Springsteen voice.
I wanna blow 'em off in my first heat. Summer's here and the time is right for racing in the street. We take all the action we can meet, and we cover all of Northeast State. When the strip shuts down, we run 'em in the street, from the fire roads to the interstate. Now some guys, they just give up living and start dying little by little, piece by piece. Some guys come home from work and wash up and go racing in the street. Tonight, the strip's just right. I wanna blow 'em all out of their seats. We're calling out around the world. We're going racing in the street.
I'll pause it here just because it feels like there is a lull to be able to talk about it. Look, thinking about how old he was at this when he wrote this is quite perplexing to me, because I'm 24 and I apparently he would be, if he recorded it the year it released, he was 28, 29, right? But it seems like he might have been 27, 28, right? The level of maturity of like the themes that he has on a lot of his writing, even like Born to Run, is outstanding. Like genuinely unbelievable to me. Like on Born to Run, he was around my age when he would be writing that, and I think from my perspective, just because I've seen Bruce Springsteen as like an older person my entire life, I picture him being just mature forever, and his writing backs that up. Like his writing is very mature. From everything I've seen, but seeing that, like thinking about it as like, holy shit, he's my age when he made Born to Run, the level of maturity is like well beyond his years, and or at least it's more than me. Or maybe I'm immature, but like it just seems like his maturity is well beyond his years, and I wonder how that felt for people that grew up like around the same time that he did, to hear someone with this much wisdom. Like, did he? Because I guess for me, right, most people that listen to Bruce Springsteen would be people that are much older than me. Like my generation doesn't listen to Bruce Springsteen. But was that always the case? When this came out in 1978, was this a young man's sort of album, or was it more so like, holy shit, when I'm listening to this sounds like a really mature view on the world? Or did he have like, was he viewed as like more of like a younger lad? Because for me, he just feels like he exudes so much maturity of like someone that makes like that writes in his well into his 40s, 50s. And I'm just wondering if that was always the perception at the time. Like if someone is from around the time when he first blew up, like was that perception of him always the mature guy? And were people like, I guess like actively and acutely aware of like how young he is when he's talking about that? Or is it just a difference in time and change? Because for like my generation, like I think the average person stays in home until like they're 24 or something, where like obviously older generations that you didn't have that luxury, but so maybe it's just like a difference in maturity of the time, and this was like relatively normal maturity for the time of 1978 because you had to just fucking grow up quicker. But I don't know, I'm just really curious about that, and obviously there's like a lot of open-ended questions in my statements there, and if you have any context of that or like your own personal experience, I would love to hear about it, because yeah, he just seems incredibly mature, and it's kind of fucking shocking how mature he is for the age, because he's an adult, sure, but like a pretty young adult at this point, right? Like in your 20s, you're kind of young. So I know, it's really cool.
I met her on the strip 3 years ago in a Camaro with this dude from LA. I blew that Camaro off my back and drove that little girl away. But now there's wrinkles round my baby's eyes, and she cries herself to sleep at night. When I come home, the house is dark. She sighs, baby, did you make it alright? She sits on the porch of her daddy's house, but all her pretty dreams are torn. She stares off alone into the night with the eyes of one who waits for just being born. For all the shut down strangers and hot rod angels rumbling through this promised land, tonight my baby and me, we're gonna ride to the sea and wash these sins off our hands. Tonight, tonight, the highway's bright, out of our way, mister, you best keep. 'Cause summer's here and the time is right for racing in the street.
He's just such an evocative storyteller. The texture and like tone of the production is just so nice. It's like so deep, powerful, and clear. There's so much clarity in it. It just sounds gorgeous. Just another perfect song. Just absolutely incredible. He is truly a once in a generation sort of guy. I really like, I've heard his shows and his concerts are really amazing. I just hope he comes to Australia one more time. I would love to see him. Like, even if it's in a more like mellow fashion, because apparently he's like an incredible showman, but like, this has to be a harmonica. Has to be. This is like more in like the Badlands sort of vibe of like, sounds more 80s to me. This is what I hear when I think of Bruce Springsteen. And it's just The level of consistency he's able to output songs like this at like a perfect fucking standing is incredible. Those drums. They're so like cavernous, the drums. It's so nice. Ooh. This actually might be one of my favorite Bruce Springsteen songs. I don't know it, but like, it just sounds so perfect. I love it. This is such an incredible album. Born to Run, this, and Born in the USA, which I think they're all together, might be like one of the best 3-album runs of all time for me. Oh wait, no, there's the river in Nebraska between the two? What the fuck? Alright. Huh. This is also another perfect song, by the way. I'll talk about my mishap after this song. There's such like a vulnerability and intimacy in the vocals here that I think he always has, but it feels like it's really outstanding on this track. I think this is probably the best song on the album, and that's saying something because there's been some absolutely stunning tracks on this album. I think I might end up liking this album more than Born to Run. Yeah, I am so sorry for the Bruce Springsteen watchers and fans. I'm sorry, I completely blanked. I straight up thought that how the albums went was Born to Run, Darkness on the Edge of Town, makes Born to Run is 75, Darkness on the Edge of Town 78. I thought Born to in the USA was 82. So I thought it went 82. And that reason I checked it up for the 3-album run thing was I thought, oh shit, isn't The River 1980? But actually, I was completely mistaken. And it goes to Born to Run, Darkness on the Edge of Town, into The River, into Nebraska, into Born in the USA. And that means that would make it a 3-album run. I just straight up thought it was. But in saying that, if The River and Nebraska and anywhere near as good as these 3 albums that I have listened to, that is pretty easily the best 5-album run I've ever heard then. Or I'd assume it would be. Actually. Yeah, I do. Maybe. There might be one other artist that I could think of. But, yeah, they're absolutely incredible. Like, I don't give out 11s often. I've listened to about 1,000 albums, like 1,200 albums in the past year. I started this channel about a year ago. And, out of all those songs, obviously, that means that there's like 12,000 songs or 15,000 songs I've rated. I have about 200 11 out of 10s, and I think Promised Land is an 11 out of 10 for me. I think it's just one of the best songs I've ever heard. I think it's up there with like, it's probably a top 4, 3 Probably a top three, maybe even higher than top three. Bruce Springsteen song I've ever heard. I absolutely adore this track so much. Oh, this piano sounds so full. I love it. And like encompassing.
Early in the morning, factory whistle blows. Man rises from bed and puts on his clothes. Man takes his lunch, walks out in the morning light. The working, just the working life. Through the mansions of fear, through the mansions of pain. See my daddy walking through them factory gates in the rain. Factory takes his hearing, factory gives him life. The working, just the working life.
I love how this track sounds, and I love the message of it. We'll talk about it more in a sec.
Men walk through these gates with death in their eyes, and you just better believe, boy, somebody's gonna get hurt tonight. The working, just the working life. 'Cause it's the working, just the working life.
I love it. There's so much tenderness in this track, and that's one of the things I wanted to start off by talking about. I'll give it 9.5 now. I might go up on it because, if I'm being honest, I don't know what wouldn't make it perfect. But what I really love about Bruce Springsteen is the talking about working class and like the plight of the working class in such an earnest manner, because it feels like a lot of music nowadays, like if we go to like stadium country, that sort of thing, a lot of stuff that should be like the working man's music, it just feels like it's pandering. It's just saying platitudes. It's not actually having the authenticity that it deserves, especially about like a struggle that is very fucking real. Being poor, being working class, that stuff is a fucking struggle, and I just don't think it gets enough attention placed on it. And it's one of the things, and I just feel like in modern music we don't have that placed on it that often. It feels very pandery. When it is talked about, it doesn't feel like it comes from an earnest place, where like Bruce Springsteen feels like it comes from an earnest place. And it's just it's like a rarity. One of the things I've increasingly become more enamored with when it comes to Bruce Springsteen, and obviously I've already mentioned it across multiple reactions and this one, is the uniqueness of him. It feels like the level of like earnestness and authenticity, and the topics that he talks about and the way that he talks about them, and like the healthy masculinity involved, and how he shows his vulnerability quite strongly, but despite like what's usually considered to be like weak as a man to do, all of these sort of things that he is able to do, but it still has like the strength and courage that the idea of a man has. He's able to do all these things and cross all of these lines in just such a unique way, and he feels like a completely one of a kind sort of artist when he's able to talk about these subjects in the way that he does, and with the amount of like honesty that he does talk about it with. Yeah, even if by the end of this he doesn't have like the best 4-album run in history to me, or the most 10 out of 10 albums, or whatever metric you want to use for critic sort of stuff that I seem to do, I don't think it matters to me. Like Bruce Springsteen just feels legendary. He is legendary. Not just feels it, like he is legendary, and the way that he's able to craft and work around all these different song topics and how versatile and creative he is. he is just one of the best artists of all time, even if there isn't like a certain metric you can point to, from like my own like value judgment of like how I rate his albums or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter what his albums are rated. Just from these 3 albums alone, he's one of the best artists of all time. Even if like there might be, I don't know, Nirvana has more 10s or something like that. I think I just like Bruce Springsteen more than Nirvana, despite the fact that Nirvana might have better albums, for my ratings. I don't know, but yeah, he's just absolutely incredible, and just so unique.
When the night's quiet and you don't care anymore, and your eyes will turn with someone at your door, and you realize you wanna let go. And the weak lies and calls you embrace you at your insides. And babe, I ain't no liar. I walk streets of fire, streets of fire, streets of fire, streets of fire. Now I'm running. The loser down the track and I'm lying. But babe, I can't go back 'cause in the darkness I hear somebody call my
He's vocal. Ah.
name. When you realize how the truth
I have to give it a 10. Holy shit.
But I'm strung on a wire in these streets of fire. Streets of fire.
This might be like a top 2 song on the album for me. Might be my second. It's hard. There's so many good songs, but the vocals on this is absolutely incredible. Might be like one of the best guitar solos I've ever heard, and that's coming from like a person that listens to metal. So
Only with strangers I talk to. Only strangers I walk with. Angels that have no place. Yeah, don't look in my face. Don't come over, 'cause I'm sad on the white cross. Streets of fire, streets of fire, streets of fire, streets of fire.
it's actually just outstanding. You know, an artist is like actually just fucking incredible when like I don't know if this is my favorite album by him. I think it might be, but like Born in the USA, like I love that album, and Born to Run, depending on re-listens, might be my favorite as well. They just like just consistency, just the consistency to make albums this fucking incredible. I feel like if gun to my head, what's the best album? I couldn't tell you actually. Like, not there's no gut feeling. It's like when I think Born in the USA, it's like sorta. When I think Born to Run, all right, I probably wouldn't say that one, but if that's like the consensus best one. But then it's like Darkness on the Edge of Town, might be. I don't know. Like, I actually could not tell you. Like, even gut feeling. Like, I'm not even over intellectualizing it or whatever. Like, it's just I love them, and they're quite different from one another. Um, it's very rare for me to be stumped by, like, I know I'm posting that question myself, but it's very rare for me to be stumped by like a question like, what's your favorite? It's like, give me 5 seconds and I'll be able to think through it because I can gather my emotions and, I don't know, pass it out. I could not tell you. Like, it would change, not by the day, by the hour. Like, my answer to that question. This is just an unbelievable project. Fucking love this. I already know I'm gonna love this one too. We'll drive that dusty road from Mondo to Angeline to buy you a gold and a pretty dress of blue. Baby, just one kiss. We'll get this things for you. I kiss the seal. I fade tonight. I kiss the prove it all night. Prove it all night. Girl, there's nothing else that we can do. Say prove it all night. Prove it all night. And girl, I prove it all night for you. Everybody's got a hunger they can't resist. There's so much that you want, you deserve much more than this. Well, if dreams came true, oh, wouldn't that be nice? But this ain't no dream, we're living through the night. Ah, girl, you want it, you take it, you pay the price to prove it all night. Prove it all night. Prove it all night, baby. He's perfect. He's perfect. For your love. It's just like some of the prettiest like piano melodies I've ever heard. He's so fucking good. Meet me in the fields behind the dynamo. You hear their voices telling you not to go. They made their choices and they'll never know what it means to steal, to cheat, to lie. What it's like to live and die. To prove it all night, prove it all night. There is nothing else that we can do. Say prove it all night, prove it all night. And girl, I prove it all night for you. I prove it all night, I prove it all night. I prove it all night, I prove it all night. I prove it all night, I prove it all night. I prove it all night, I prove it all night. He's like, he's just so incredible. Like, he's not like a once in a generation artist. He's a once in a multi-generational artist. Like, not even a once in a lifetime. Like, I don't know if there's anyone. There's no one like Bruce Springsteen. There isn't. I don't even know anyone that gives me there's like songs that can give Bruce Springsteen vibes, but that's because it's the genre. There's no one that gives me Bruce Springsteen vibes, I don't think. Like, the closest I can get is Getting Killed by Geese has, like, Cobra. Kind of sounds like a bit of that Heartland rock. And it has a bit of that charm that maybe a bit of Bruce Springsteen has. But, like, overall, there's, like, not a person that's like, oh, holy shit, he's similar. And there's other people that I can think of to be, like, clones of other artists. I can think of a Michael Jackson clone. I can think of a Led Zeppelin clone. You have Greta Van Fleet. I can think of so many different clones, but I can't think of a clone of Bruce Springsteen because I don't think it's possible to clone him. Like, it's like, give up. Like, someone that's trying to, like, do Bruce Springsteen, it's like, you're not gonna do it as good as Bruce Springsteen. No one can be Bruce Springsteen. And that's just becoming more and more apparent with every single album and song that I listen to by him. And by the give up, I mean, like, do something different. Because, like, you can do something different, but it's just like Bruce Springsteen is just a once in a millennia. It's just so good.
Well, they're still racing down at the trestles, but that blood had never burned in her veins. Now here she's got a house up in Fairview, in a style she's trying to maintain. Well, if she wants to see me, you can tell her that I'm easily found. Tell her there's a spot out deep,
Nice. That's cool. I've never heard that before.
on the edge of town. There's the darkness on the edge of town. Well, everybody's got a secret sign, something that they just can't face. Some folks spend their whole lives trying to keep it. They carry it with them every step that they take. Till someday, they'll just cut it loose, so let it drag on down. When no one asks any questions or looks too long in your face. In the darkness on the edge of town. In the darkness on the edge of town.
I love this album. I love Bruce Springsteen.
Some folks are born into a good life, and other folks get it anyway, anyhow. Well, now I lost my money and I lost my wife. Them things don't seem to matter much to me now. Tonight I'll be on that hill, 'cause I can't stop.
His vibe feels
I'll
good.
be on that hill with everything I've got. With lives on the line, with dreams are finally lost. I'll be there on time, and I'll pay the cost for wanting things that can only be found in the darkness on the edge of town. In the darkness on the edge of town.
It's just so gorgeous. It's incredible. Yeah. I'm gonna do some re-listens, and some of these songs will probably, I feel like all of them will go up. Which kind of just means it's one of the best albums I've ever heard. And I don't know where it lands when it comes to which Bruce Springsteen album is my favorite, because holy, they're just so amazing in different ways. And I absolutely love this. I understand. I saw so many comments on Born in the USA where they're like, "Oh my god, you maybe like that album more because I like his other ones. I've always been a fan of Nebraska, Born to Run, Darkness on the Edge of Town, The River." Right? Those are the ones that are usually mentioned. It's like, oh, I've always loved those ones the most. And I don't come back to Born in the USA as much. I can understand why you go back to these ones more, because Born to Run and Darkness on the Edge of Town, from what I've heard, they feel, I don't know, more like artistic. They feel more personal. And I can understand why you would go back to that, because like one of the biggest draws for Bruce Springsteen, in my opinion, now is like just him as a person. He is just incredible. So I can understand why this would be your favorite album. It's an unbelievable album, and I just want to say thank you to Two Scoops for requesting this. He requests 2 albums that might both end up being 10s, which is crazy. And I've only got 30 10s out of the 1,200 albums I've listened to. It's just mental. If you watch this far, that's support enough. But if you want to support further, you can go to my Patreon and subscribe like Two Scoops did and request another Bruce Springsteen album. Though I will say, I wish this wasn't the case, but it's just the way that I've set it up. It's $5 for an album request, and I don't necessarily do albums outside of Patreon requests now. I have so many people that have subbed onto Patreon now that I kind of have to just do Patreon requests. I would feel too guilty to just pick albums I want to listen to or that sort of thing. Because it's like someone would be missing out from something they rightfully paid for. Because I have about 85 people that have subbed now, and if all of them request, let's say 2 classic albums, that means 160 albums a month. And yeah, I'm a full-time student, so that it's a bit difficult to even keep up with what I'm doing now. So if I did other stuff that like maybe YouTube would want it would be a bit hard. So I just need one person to sub to request another Bruce Springsteen album, and I will do it. Nebraska or The River are the main ones I would think of. But yeah, because I want to do more Bruce Springsteen. This has been an unbelievable album, and if you want to support further, you can go on Patreon. Again, if you don't have the money or if you don't want to, that's totally okay. You can watch it on YouTube. You get early access on Patreon by quite a few months, but on YouTube, you will get the videos eventually, and I love you guys just as much. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching, and thank you for making a dream come true, where I get to listen to amazing albums for the first time, and it's kind of a job at this point. Yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.